thank you for tuning in to Thursday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. The stage is set for Mahayuti Government 2.0. The suspense has finally ended, and it's going to be Devendra Fadnavis who will be taking over the mantle as the Chief Minister. We'll be keeping a track of all the developments from Maharashtra. First up, starting with the top stories that we're tracking in this edition. Mahayuti key leaders Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar are set to meet Home Minister Amit Shah in the national capital. The main objective of this meeting is to finalize the next Chief Minister of Maharashtra. The trio is in contention for the top post following Alliance's decisive victory in recent assembly elections. The BJP has emerged as the dominant party, winning 132 seats, while its allies Shinde Sena and NCP Ajit Pawar faction have won 57 and 41 seats respectively. Fadnavis is considered the front runner for the top post, with Shiv Sena and NCP to take on the Deputy Chief Minister posts.
कि हमारी महायुति में कभी भी कोई एक दूसरे के प्रति अलग मत ये रहा नहीं है। हमने हमेशा साथ में बैठकर निर्णय किए हैं और चुनाव से पहले भी हमने कहा था कि चुनाव के बाद साथ में बैठकर निर्णय करेंगे। कुछ लोगों के मन में जो शंकाएं थी उनको दूर करने का काम सम्माननीय एकनाथ शिंदे जी ने किया है। जल्द ही हम हमारे नेताओं के साथ बैठेंगे और उचित निर्णय करेंगे।
कब तक सरकार बन जाएगी? राह देखिए।
And in Jharkhand, JMM's Hemant Soren is set to take oath as the Chief Minister, 14th Chief Minister in the state, in a grand ceremony that will be conducted. Several politicians and dignitaries, top INDI leaders will be present in the oath-taking ceremony. Confirmed attendees list in the ceremony include Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge, Rahul Gandhi, NCP SP Chief Sharad Pawar, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, among others. In the recent assembly election, Soren's JMM-led alliance stormed to victory, securing 56 seats in the 81-member assembly.
अपनी महागठबंधन की सरकार में हम सभी उनका हाथ बटाएंगे अपने अपने तरीके से, और कल ये वो ऐतिहासिक दिन है जब पूरे देश के बड़े नेता झारखंड आ रहे हैं शपथ ग्रहण समारोह।
Initiating action against those who were responsible for the lapses, UP government has removed Jhansi Medical College's principal and even suspended 3 staff members. The action was taken by Deputy Chief Minister Brajesh Pathak, who also holds a portfolio of medical health. The state government took this action based on the findings of a high-level inquiry that was conducted by a 4-member panel. The 4-member committee submitted its report on 15th of November. Fire incident on Monday. Not to forget, this fire incident claimed lives of 10 infants that left dozens of newborns also severely injured.
दुखद घटना है। सरकार दुखों के साथ खड़ी है सभी पीड़ित परिवार के साथ। आगे घटनाएं न घटें, हमारी सरकार उस पर पूर्ण रूप से प्रदेश में एक टीम बना दी है सभी जांच और सभी दुरुस्त करने का। किसी रूप से चूक हुई है और उस चूक के लिए जो दोषी है उसके लिए खिलाफ कार्रवाई के लिए लिख भी दिया है माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने, डिप्टी सीएम साहब, और ऐसे सीधे डिप्टी सीएम साहब पहुंचे। इससे बड़ा क्या हो सकता है?
Senior West Bengal BJP leader Shubhendu Adhikari said that the Indian authorities should stop issuing visas to Bangladeshi citizens unless the caretaker government releases Hindu priest Chinmay Das. Adhikari also demanded the import and export between the two countries must also be temporarily suspended until Bangladeshi interim government led by Yunus takes steps to stop the torture on minority communities. Chinmay Das, the Hindu monk, is a spokesperson of Bangladesh Sammalita Sanatani Jagran Josh, and was arrested from Dhaka's international airport as he was about to fly to Chittagong to attend a rally. He was denied bail and sent to jail charged with sedition. This has resulted in intensified protests by Hindus across Bangladesh.
It's a humanitarian duty. We are not commenting anything. But today, one caretaker, they used very filthy words and sentences against India. This is not good, not acceptable.
A 25-year-old Air India pilot was found dead at her rented apartment in Mumbai's Andheri. She allegedly died by suicide, and her boyfriend, identified as 27-year-old Aditya Pandit, was also arrested from the national capital for abetment to suicide. The deceased family has alleged foul play, accusing the deceased's partner of abuse and harassment. Police reports suggest that the deceased was abused by her partner and was struggling with mental health issues as well. Reports even suggest that when Pandit, the accused, left for a short visit to the national capital, the couple had an argument. When he returned back, he found her unresponsive and took her to the hospital where she was declared brought dead. The police is currently investigating the case, including forensic analysis of the deceased phone, and are taking statements from from those close to her. Meanwhile, Aditya Pandit, the accused, remains in police custody. The Waqf Parliamentary Panel has decided to seek an extension in its tenure till the last day of the next budget session after its meeting was interrupted by angry protests by opposition. The meeting began on a stormy note as opposition members staged a walkout and slammed chairperson Jagdambika Pal's situation cooled down when the BJP reached out to them, indicating their willingness to press for an extension of committee's deadline of November 29th to submit its report to the Lok Sabha.
एक राय बनी है कि हमें कुछ समय इसको और बढ़ाना चाहिए, तो मैं कुछ समय पे इस पर विचार करूंगा और कुछ समय पे विचार करके फिर हम लोकसभा में इस पर रेजोल्यूशन, अभी तो हम रेजोल्यूशन मूव करेंगे तो 29 तक हमारी इसका टेन्योर है, तो हम कल परसों में इसका रेजोल्यूशन मूव कर देंगे, फिर जो एक टाइम एक्सटेंशन हाउस ग्रांट करेगा.
And from the world of business, the Ministry of Coal has announced auction of 9 of its coal mines. We get you the details in this next segment. Ministry of Coal has announced that it has successfully auctioned 9 mines as part of 10th round of commercial coal auctions. As per the ministry, the combined coal reserve of these mines stands at 3,998 million tons. In fact, since the very beginning of commercial coal mining in 2020, the government auctioned a total of 113 coal mines with a production capacity of almost 260 million tons per year. These mines are expected to generate a revenue of over 35,400 crore rupees. Godrej Properties launched its Qualified Institutional Placement or QIPs to sell equity shares to raise up 6,000 crore rupees in an exchange filing. The board of directors of Godrej Properties approved QIP worth 6,000 crore by the issue of securities. On the recent Adani row, senior advocate and Rajya Sabha MP Mahesh Jethmalani dismissed allegations against Adani Group. These allegations stem from a recent US Department of Justice indictment asserting that there is no basis for investigation in India. Jethmalani also claimed that all the allegations against the Adani Group are amplified by the Congress party and lack substance.
Absolutely right. There is no charge in the indictment. Absolutely right. The charge is some conspiracy to induce subscribers to the bonds issued by Adani Greens in America, but there's no allegation of actual bribery of any public official in India.
The shares of NTPC Green Energy Limited, which is the renewable energy arm of NTPC, listed its shares with a premium of over 3%. The issue price was supposed to be 108 rupees but went up by over 3% to 11.5 on National Stock Exchange and 111.6 on the Bombay Stock Exchange. The much-awaited NTPC Green Energy IPO opened for subscription on 19th of November. The subscription for NTPC Green Energy IPO was closed on 22nd of November. Meanwhile, India has been developing high-speed train sets with a top speed of 280 km per hour, designed and manufactured by the Integral Coach Factory BEML. The trains, estimated at 28 crore rupees per car, will boost advanced features like aerodynamic design, sealed gangways and modern amenities, among others. And let's now switch focus to our international segment where we are tracking the latest on the West Asia conflict and also the European conflict, the war that still rages on for almost 3 years between Russia and Ukraine. The Chief Prosecutor of International Criminal Court has requested judges to issue an arrest warrant for Myanmar's military leader Min Aung Hlaing over his role in crimes committed against the Rohingya Muslims minority. These crimes are linked to a violent campaign that forced nearly 1 million Rohingyas to flee Bangladesh and have been described as ethnic cleansing, involving mass killings, rapes and even burning of homes. The allegations stem from a counter-insurgency operation by Myanmar's military, which began in August of 2017 in response to an insurgent attack. The move marks the first time an arrest warrant is being sought for a senior Myanmar government official.
My office is filing an application for a warrant of arrest before the pre-trial chamber of the International Criminal Court in the situation in Bangladesh, Myanmar, in a team led by senior lawyer and head of the unified team, Mr. Esafal, who stands beside me. Since the 14th of November 2019, my office has been investigating alleged crimes committed during the 2016 and 2017 waves of violence in Rakhine State.
On Tuesday, Hong Kong's top court upheld previous rulings supporting subsidized housing benefits and equal inheritance rights for same-sex married couples, marking a historic win for the city's LGBTQ+ community. The Court of Final's appeals dismissal for the government's appeals resolved years of legal disputes over the unequal treatment faced by same-sex couples married abroad, particularly regarding the Housing Authority's policies and two inheritance laws as well. The unanimous decision is expected to significantly impact the lives of same-sex couples who have traditionally had fewer rights than heterosexual couples in the city. While Hong Kong does not recognize same-sex marriage, it does acknowledge it for certain purposes like taxation, civil service benefits and dependent visas among others. Residents even expressed pride in the decision and called it a victorious moment for all same-sex couples in Hong Kong.
I think the most important this is not only fighting for me and for my partner, but this is fighting for all the people, all the same-sex couples in Hong Kong.
On Wednesday, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Kazakh President signed a joint statement to strengthen the strategic partnership between the two countries. Kremlin stated that the leaders were set to discuss ways to further develop the Russian-Kazakhstan alliance across various sectors, especially considering Kazakhstan's presidency of the CSTO and Russia's leadership in the Commonwealth of Independent States and BRICS this year. On Wednesday, Seoul was hit by most intense November snowstorm in over 50 years, disrupting travel and daily life. South Korea's weather agency has reported that it was the heaviest snowfall in the capital in 52 years. More than 220 flights were cancelled or delayed across the country and around 90 ferries were grounded. Authorities also closed hundreds of hiking trails. The icy roads resulted in significant delays during the morning commute in Seoul, while emergency responders worked to address fallen tree signs and other hazards as well. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres expressed support for ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon on Wednesday. The truce between Israel and Hezbollah leaders began early Wednesday morning, following the most intense day of Israeli airstrikes on Beirut since the conflict began. Israel has warned it will retaliate if Hezbollah violates a ceasefire. This development comes shortly after Israel launched an attack on Hezbollah just hours after the ceasefire was agreed upon. If the truce deal holds, it would begin an end of nearly 14 months of fighting between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, which escalated into a full-scale war in mid-September, risking a broader conflict involving Iran and the US as well. The ceasefire offers relief to the 1.2 million Lebanese people displaced by the violence and the tens of thousands of Israelis as well who fled homes near the Israel-Lebanon border. On Wednesday, Ukrainian President Zelensky stated that the pressure on Russia must be escalated so that the country fully feels the impact of the war. He acknowledged that the recent authorization for long-range strikes on Russian military targets was helpful, but emphasized the need to sustain and intensify pressure on Russia at various levels. Zelensky also noted Russia's arsenals, now reportedly containing missiles and shells from North Korea, as well as the involvement of foreign soldiers on the front lines, signify the global expansion of the war, something that can only be halted through a global response. On Wednesday, Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson welcomed the heads of government from Nordic and Baltic countries for two-day summit in Helsingborg. This is the first such meeting since 2017, with Poland participating for the very first time. The discussion on the first day focused on transatlantic relations, regional security in the Baltic Sea and long-term support for Ukraine. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk proposed that the navies of navies of the Western Baltic Sea states jointly monitor the waters, further emphasizing that there is a shared concern about security situation, particularly regarding critical infrastructure and strategic resources in the Baltic region.
We share the assessment of the security situation, including concern for critical infrastructure and strategic resources along the Baltic Sea. We need new tools and ambitious means to counter threats. This is why I propose today to create a Baltic Sea policing mission.
Authorities reopened roads connecting Pakistan's capital to the rest of the country on Wednesday, ending a 4-day lockdown. The lockdown had been imposed after authorities used tear gas shells and fired into the air to disperse supporters of imprisoned former Prime Minister Imran Khan, who'd marched to Islamabad demanding his release. Khan's wife, Bushra Bibi, who led the protest, and other demonstrators fled in vehicles as police clashed with rally goers, resulting in at least 7 deaths. Tension had been rising in Islamabad since Sunday, when Khan's supporters began a long march from the northwest to demand a release of the former Prime Minister. And we now move on to a sports segment. It's a win for India. It has defeated Thailand in men's Asia Cup hockey opener. We get you the details in this segment. Defending champions India started their men's Junior Asia Cup campaign on a rousing note, thrashing Thailand in a lopsided Pool A match. Besides India and Thailand, Chinese Taipei, Japan and South Korea are the other teams in Pool A. Pool B consists of arch rivals Pakistan, Malaysia, Bangladesh, hosts Oman and China as well. Top seeds PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen advanced to the second round of women's and men's singles respectively in Super 300 badminton tournament after registering straight game victories. Two-time Olympic medalist Sindhu defeated rising shuttler Anmol Kharb, while Lakshya Sen, 2021 World Championship bronze medalist, powered past Malaysian qualifier in another match. It may have been an inconsequential series for either side, with both being out of contention for a spot in the World Test Championship. The WTC final, however, the West Indies will be glad to lift from the bottom of the table with a splendid performance across 5 days in the first test of the 2-match series against Bangladesh in Antigua. West Indies has been struggling in the test cricket of late, as the Gabas wins seems like an outliner now, and the hosts will cherish this as victory, a first at home in more than 2 years against the very same opposition. India's young opener Yashasvi Jaiswal is taking big strides towards becoming the #1 test batsman in the world. In the latest ICC rankings in the longest format, the Southpaw has jumped to the second place after his exceptional 161-run knock in the second innings of the Perth Test against Australia. At the second position with 825 ratings points, Jaiswal is now 78 points behind former English skipper Joe Root, who is sitting pretty on top. England Test captain Ben Stokes has revealed our reason for not registering in the IPL 2025 mega auction, stating that he's attempting to prolong his international career. The 33-year-old admitted he's in the fag end of his playing days and is willing to play for England in the longest format as long as he can. As many as 633.15 crore was spent in 2 days at the IPL mega auction in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia on 24th and 25th of this month, but none was spent on Gujarat batter Urvil Patil, who smashed the fastest ever T20 century by the ongoing trophy match. Interestingly, he broke the most expensive player at the mega auction, Rishabh Pant's record in this aspect. Urvil smashed a century in just 28 balls against Tripura, helping his side chase down 156 runs in just 10.2 overs. Royal Challengers Bengaluru surprisingly did not bid for India fast bowler Mohammad Siraj after releasing him from their squad ahead of the auction. A day after the 2-day-long mega auction, he penned an emotional letter for all the RCB fans, thanking them and assured them that he would always remember them and RCB very fondly. The Board of Control for Cricket in India is in no hurry to send India fast bowler Mohammad Shami to Australia for the Border Gavaskar series. Test series, as the Ajit Agarkar-led selection committee is yet to take a final call, who is currently fit and playing in the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy for Bengal. Shami was sidelined for exactly a year after incurring an ankle injury during the 2023 ODI World Cup last year. India batter Yashasvi Jaiswal could potentially end up with more than 40 test centuries, feels Australia all-rounder Glenn Maxwell. The hard-hitting all-rounder's assessment came after Jaiswal on his maiden test in Australia smashed the highest score by an Indian opener down under opening batting. The left-hander, who was dismissed for an 8-ball duck in the first innings of the Border Gavaskar Trophy opener in Perth by Michelle Stark, showed his class and potential with superlative century in the second innings. And time to take a look at all that is happening in the world of glitz and glamour. Let's get started. Convicted con artist Arnab Goswami made a return to the dance floor on Tuesday night for the season finale of Dancing with the Stars, wearing a sparkly and lightweight ankle monitor. The so-called fair heiress was convicted in 2019 for swindling banks, hotels and friends by falsely claiming to be a wealthy German heir named Anna Delver, who was eliminated in September during the first round of cuts.
I mean, this time was very positive. It was so much fun, and I think it was very, there was no pressure, and it was just a different experience, a different vibe.
Genesis Rodriguez, an actor, shared a memorable moment when Zoe Zaldana met her father, Jose Rui Rodriguez, known as El Puma. The encounter took place at an outdoor mall where Genesis was with her parents. After watching a movie, her father recognized Zoe, and she in turn recognized him and asked for a photo. She recalled how sweet and charming the moment was, with the father feeling giddy and amazed that Zoe knew who he was. She proudly mentioned that her father, Jose Luis Rodriguez, is a Latin American music icon, still performing in his 80s, and his career remains unstoppable.
We were in an outdoor mall, and I was with my dad and my mom, and we had just finished watching a movie, and we saw Zoe, and it was like a really funny thing because he recognized her and then she recognized him, but she asked him for the picture. So to me it was surreal because I was the one taking the picture. It was really cute and sweet.
Robbie Williams shared how he responded when Michelle Gracie asked about his spirit animal. Initially, Williams tried to assert some self-worth by saying, and I quote, "I'm a lion, but not Gracie." But Gracie disagreed. After suggesting monkey, Gracie agreed and presented the idea to Williams, who found it clever and unique, ultimately loving the concept.
Michael Gracie said, what's your spirit animal? And me trying to find some self-worth for myself when I am a lion. And he went, you're not though, are you? And I went, monkey? And he went, yeah, here's the idea. And I just loved the idea. I thought it was clever, unusual, yeah.
And that's all we have for you in this edition of our broadcast. But stay tuned, we'll be back with Light This Morning at 7 a.m.